the topic for tonight. How to deal with someone who's afraid of commitment. Paano nga ba natin malalaman kung ang tao ay takot mag-commit? How are we gonna be able to help ourselves navigate through this situation? By actually learning the psychology behind the people who's scared of committing. So we're gonna be discussing that later on, mga bagay na dapat nating malaman. Kasi may mga pagkakataon that we're able to actually tackle things head on if we know a lot of things about the situation. So we are going to be discussing how to deal with someone who's afraid of commitment. Bakit nga ba may mga taong ganito? So because of that, we're going to be discussing the 3 things about this topic. The what, the why, and the how. So, 3 bagay in order for us to know and dive ourselves and dissect the situation so that later on, we know the psychology behind as to why these people are scared of commitment or they don't really wanted to commit. Okay? Cool. So first off, let's start with what? What are the reasons or what are the signs of someone who's afraid to commit? Bakit nga ba takot siya? Anong dahilan? What are the signs of someone who's afraid to commit? Number 1, my friend, never thinks and talks about the future of the relationship. Isa yun sa mga signs, mga kaibigan. Pag yung tao na gusto mo, yung taong gusto mong makasama at nagpapasaya sa'yo, alam mong hindi pa siya ready makipag-commit sa'yo if he doesn't talk about the future. Not entirely na mag-asawa na kayo, but the things that you're gonna be doing later on. He doesn't make long-term plans with you. Though I don't encourage doing that often, pero commitment comes with people who has visions to where the relationship would go. Now, if this person doesn't even mention and doesn't even see both of you together in a specific timeline forward, then it means that this person is really not into commitment to you. May mga pagkakataon kasi sa buhay that people are just there because it's convenient for them. Or maybe you're the only one who's available, and that is the reason why they are making you feel as if you're very special because the person that they intend to make special at that specific moment is not available. Kasi kaya ka na-fall sa maling tao kasi agad-agad binibigay mo lahat. Pag binibigay mo kasi lahat, may mga pagkakataon wherein you are basically having difficulties removing yourself from the situation kasi you went all in. You invested so much that you're too scared to pull your head out because you know that wala ka nang ibang puhunan. You don't have anything to go back into. And that is the reason why most people are into a situation na hirap silang umalis sa mga bagay. Lalo na doon sa taong takot makipag-commit sa kanya. So that's number 1, my friends. What are the signs of someone who's afraid to commit? First, they never thinks and talks about the future relationship. That's number 1. Number 2, they show inconsistent emotion. Now, if someone is willing to commit, consistency is the key to commitment. If the person is showing you inconsistency specifically with emotions such as hot and cold siya, ibig sabihin okay siya ngayon, tapos biglang mawawala ng 2 days, tapos biglang nandyan ulit after the weekend, tapos biglang susulpot mga gabi. San ka? Kita tayo. I mean, those kind of things. Be very careful about those kind of situations kasi may mga tao that you are the last option. That is the reason why at that last moment in time, they message you. Alam ko may mga ganong klaseng pagkakataon kayong naramdaman na bakit ganun bigla siya nag-message sa akin na ganitong oras? Bakit bigla siyang sinasabi na nandito daw siya sa area? And wala naman siyang pasabi, wala naman kaming usapan. There are situations where maybe the intended person that yung ka-char mo mi-meet niya is not there. And that is the reason why they message you at that specific time. It shows inconsistency when it comes to emotion because there are a lot of situations where you don't want it to be in that specific place, my friend. They are very inconsistent. And people who's inconsistent with their emotion, with their time, with their effort towards you are usually the ones that is not worthy of your time, in that they are the people who really doesn't want to commit. Cool? Sana may mga natututunan kayo dito at sana nagsusulat kayo para naman hindi sayang yung oras kong pag ano-ano ko sa inyo dyan, ha? Sulat nyo yan. Dapat pagkatapos nito, nabawasan yung karupukan nyo.
Lilingunin pero di babalikan. Lilingunin pero di babalikan.
Lingunin mo lang, best. Lingunin mo lang, wag mong balikan. Alalahanin mo lang yung magagandang alaala nyo pero kang marupok at balikan mo. Next is, feels anxious when the partner shows signs of investment. Ibig sabihin nun, when a person really doesn't want to commit to you, they're scared And at the same time, they feel anxious when you, on the other hand, is trying to pour in your resources, time, effort, and energy into the relationship. Such as you're already giving your keys to him sa bahay nyo. That kind of move would make someone anxious because he's not ready to move that fast. Already, he doesn't want it to commit. What else? This person is very scared of letting you know, or you're making them feel as if you're moving too fast. Even if it's not 6 months na kayong ganun, moving too fast pa ba yun? And when you show signs of being able to be rooted in the relationship, yung nandun ka na mismo, and you already try to make plans as well, that person tends to be aloof and that is not able to converse properly to you. Kasi nga, in back of his head, he doesn't want to commit to you in the very first place. When the person doesn't want to commit in the very first place, and that they just like you because you're there, and that they're gliding towards this kind of situation, their feelings, they don't want to commit at that specific time, and that nakita nila na you are going to a place where they don't want to go, they feel anxious. Ito this is not me trying to tell that the people who doesn't want to commit at that specific time are bad individuals. Of course not. It could also be good for you because that person could just commit even if they don't want to, and then when it's convenient for them, they're just gonna leave you hanging. So at the end of the day, there is still nobility onto people who doesn't want to commit to you right away. Kasi if they want to, they can. And that if it's convenient for them to move away, they can just break up with you right away. Pero that's very messy. Now, these kind of people doesn't want to commit because it could be that they want to protect you too. In that specific time, yes, they make you happy and you make them happy too. Pero they can't just really see themselves with you. And that is a fact that you have to admit and accept. And that doesn't invalidate that you're an individual who's not worthy to be loved and to be committed to. It's just that that person at that specific time is not really willing to be with you and commit to you, even if you are the opposite. So be very careful and observe so much. And of course, they feel anxious when the partner shows them signs of investment. And last but not the least, what are the signs of a person who's afraid to commit? They don't really open up the feelings, experiences, goals in life. Because at the end of the day, if they don't really see themselves with you, why would they put the time and effort and energy into allowing someone to know them well, right? So somehow, this person is happy to be with. Okay lang naman kasi yung mysterious sa umpisa eh. Alam mo yan, di mo alam kung ano yung work niya, kung saan siya galing, pero ang alam mo lang, pogi siya, masarap siyang magluto. Masyado kong bes ha? And somehow, that's the only thing that you know. Pero later on, when you develop something special, eventually you are gonna be able to unravel the things, the information that you have to find out, the vital information that you have to know for you to know him further. Pero may mga tao talaga who doesn't really want to open up and they don't want to let you know deeper things about them because at the end of the day, they don't find it worthy. You don't find them worthy to know that, and it doesn't make sense for them in the first place. Bakit? Kasi they're not staying. They're not staying naman anyway. So why would I wanted to tell you those kind of things, my friend? So okay lang siya. Nandyan lang siya kasi masaya. Pero ikaw, wala, sad ka. Kasi fall ka na.
It really hurts.
Well, that's how things are, my friend. So now we're able to somehow get the signs. Or what are the signs as to why may mga tao na talagang ayaw mag-commit? We're able to somehow dissect. Now, the question remains, the why. So, patapos na tayo sa what, punta na tayo sa why, my friend. Grabe, napaka-structured ng ating topic ngayon. Parang may lesson plan si Kuya Darbs. Grabe! Ano naman ginagawa mo, Kuya Darbs? By the way, shout out sa aking writer na si Krista. Thank you very much for helping me. Aligning my thoughts. Why don't they commit, Kuya Darbs? What are the reasons? Ano ba ang dahilan kung bakit ang tao ayaw mag-commit? When we know what is their why, we tend to understand them further. And we get less frustrated as to why they're doing the things that they are doing because we know the reason behind. And understanding someone should be the key, not just in this topic, but in everything. That sometimes the frustrations that we have towards someone is because we just don't understand them why they are doing the things that they are doing. By knowing, by understanding who they are, what ticks them, and what makes them do the things that they're doing allows us to give more empathy towards these people. That is why it's very important for us to know the why. Why don't they commit? Bakit nga ba, Kuya Darbs? Ewan ko din, hindi ko din alam. So kanina diniscuss natin ang what are the signs why someone is afraid of commitment. And right now, why don't they commit? Bakit nga ba ayaw nilang mag-commit? Diba? Yung jowa mo, ayaw niya mag-commit. Bakit? Ay, hindi mo pala siya jowa. Ayaw niya nga mag-commit eh. Kawawa ka naman, Mars.
It really hurts.
It hurts. They're not where they want to be in their life. Part of the reason why most people don't want to commit is because maybe they have other things to do. Focus on the things that they want to pursue. And that's good. They are committed on the things that they want to do in life, not just to you. And they think that they are not able to pursue that if they would commit to you. Mababawasan yung oras nila sa mga bagay na dapat nilang gawin. That's the other side of things. They want to focus more on important things. Hindi ka kasi importante daw. Sakit naman yan. Kuya Darbs, hindi ako importante. No, that's his goal. That's her goal. And at the end of the day, he is entitled to pursue the dreams that he wants. That doesn't mean na hindi ka worth it. It's just that this person doesn't see you as someone that he sees to be with him while pursuing that dream. The other side of the coin is someone who's insecure. It's just that maybe you are the type of an individual or strong independent woman ka or strong independent man ka that he feels little when he is beside you. Hindi mo naman pinapakita sa kanya at pinapamukha sa kanya yung mga bagay-bagay, yung achievements mo because you yourself would wanted to achieve things with this person. It's just that sometimes insecurity really eats someone up, especially their confidence, in that they don't want it to be surrounded by people who they think that is bigger than them because they feel belittled, they feel small. So that is one of the reasons as to why they don't want it to commit, those two sides of the coin. Pero at the end of the day, they are not where they want to be in life. Kaya napaka-importante, madalas kong sabihin sa lahat ng bagay is that before committing, to be honest with you, it's good that you pursue your own happiness, your own dreams first. And that most of the time, you have to be committed to yourself muna bago sa iba. Kasi commitment in self would allow you to somehow have clearer visions, clearer goals. Kasi pag you are on the process of achieving it or somehow already at the top, there are a lot of situations where you can give time on things that would make you more happier, such as being with someone that makes you happy. Pero hindi lang siya yung source ng happiness mo. Kung hindi ka importante sa kanya, edi wag mo rin siyang gawing importante sa buhay mo. Ito, napaka-simple lang. Pero there's wisdom to that. To be honest with you, Lara, that's right. If that person is not making you feel important, why would you make someone important na hindi ka importante sa kanila? So somehow, my friends, you have to understand. But this is very simple to say, but very difficult to do. Pero there's wisdom to that. Sabi ni Nick, siguro mas okay yung ganyan sa first place pa lang nakikita mo na kesa naman sa mga nagstay at nag-commit pero at the end umalis kasi mas nakita ng mas better. Pa-shout out Kuya Darbs. O shout out Nina Nix. Correct. Tulad nga ng sinabi ko, let's not demonize people who doesn't want to commit to you because at the end of the day, they could have, even if they don't see themselves with you forever or they would not see themselves lasting with you in that they would just say yes or they would just commit for the sake of committing and then when it's convenient for them to leave, then they can. So at least yung mga taong hindi nagko-commit at that specific time, it's good because somehow, siguro, they just don't want it to hurt you further. Cool? Kuya Darbs, is it okay if ayaw ko na ng commitment with my ex? He wants us back po kasi. But one thing I know is that ayaw ko na muna maging committed po. The future is uncertain po, di ba? Thank you po. Yes, of course. At the end of the day, on the topic that we're discussing, you could be the person that doesn't want to commit. And the reason as to why we're discussing this is for the people you don't want to commit into understands you. There's no bad guy here. We're just trying to dissect the situation. Let you understand further on the things that you wanted to know so that you can navigate through this. Kasi most of the time, when we are in this situation, we tend to demonize those people who doesn't want to commit to us. Kasi we feel entitled as if, since I love you, you should love me back. But that's not the case. At the end of the day, everybody has their own reason. And the reason itself, whatever it is, kahit ano man yung signs and symptoms na sinabi ko, kung bakit hindi siya nagko-commit sa'yo, if the answer is no, at that specific time, kahit gaano pa ka-okay, kahit gaano pa kasaya, kahit gaano pa kasarap yung mga alaala, it's time to walk away, my friend. Because the right person for you is not just someone who makes you feel happy, loved, and taken care of. The right person for you is the one who chooses you at the end. So think about it. Why don't they commit? They still want to see what's out there. That is a very, very valid reason. A person doesn't want to commit is because they think that there's still a lot of options aside from you. Is that bad? I don't know. I think that's the person's right to choose whatever he wants to go with or whatever he wants to commit with. That is the reason. That could be one of the definite reasons as to why someone doesn't want to commit to you. Is because they still think that they're still out there. And that is why it's very special if ever someone decides to tie down the knot with you. Because at the end of the day, they allow themselves to stop searching and finding the right person for them because they think that they are the one for you. And that doesn't just really necessarily means that you are the best. It's just that they have decided that even if you are not, it's okay because they love you and they choose you. And that there might be a lot of people who's way better than you, but at the end of the day, they give you the love, the commitment, and the devotion because at the end of the day, tulad nga ng sinabi ko, mahal ka nila. At ang pagmamahal, or kung nagmamahalan kayo, still, you would decide to choose each other no matter what. Sana all. This is a very tricky thing if ever you are on the other side of the fence. Ikaw yung taong tumitingin na baka meron pang option. There will always be someone better, to be honest with you. There will always be someone better. Even if you think at this specific time that this person is better and that's what you committed. And that if you are on the process of always chasing and looking for someone who's way better than your partner, there will always be someone better. It's just that, dapat ka kasing magdesisyon. Hindi dapat palaging yung pinaka-the best ang nahahanap mo. I think what's the best thing to do is to decide that even if there is someone way better than him, I decide to choose you, be with you, love you every day till the rest of my life. Next, why don't they commit? They don't see you as their partner to spend their forever with. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ka nila nakikita na pinaka-the best. Is it bad? It's okay. Tulad nga ng sinabi ko, if somebody cheated on you, you have to not feel as if you're not enough. Even if that would be the thing that you would feel. And I would understand if you would. But if someone cheats on you, that's the bad thing. Kasi hindi lang kasi yung infidelity and disloyalty ang nadudulot mo doon sa partner mo, but you would also give them self-doubt because after everything that they did, it feels as if it's not enough. And self-doubt, in that they tend to blame themselves even if it was the cheater's mistake. So, same as true with this. Most of the time, if you think that the person doesn't want to commit to you because they don't see you as an individual not worth committing to, don't feel bad. Tulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo, if someone doesn't see you as their partner, and if ever you are in a certain situation as if you feel like you're not enough, I would understand if you feel that way. Pero my friends, there will always be someone that is gonna be seeing you worthy. It's just a matter of you having the self-awareness to see it first. Do not feel worthless if someone cheats on you and if someone doesn't see you as their lifelong partner and that they decided not to commit to you or they decided to break the commitment that they gave to you in the first place because they think that you are not the person. First off, you have to understand as well that though it was the case, you have to self-audit din eh. You have to check into yourself. Kasi most of the time, why most people would say, most women would say that bakit takot ang mga lalaki sa commitment at ayaw nilang mag-commit. To be honest with you, my answer to that is they are not scared. We are not scared of commitment. It's just that we don't see you as the person worth committing into. Kasi hindi mo pwede mong sabihin yon kung halos lahat ng mga lalaki walang jowa. But at the end of the day, there will always be someone that they would commit into. So the question remains is, are you the person worth committing into? There is a lot higher level of self-awareness to understand that. And that if you think that there are some mistakes in your individuality, now this is not me trying to be another person just for someone to love you. This is me trying to tell yourself that if ever there is something missing in you, you have weaknesses, masyado kang selosa, masyado kang mahigpit, masyado kang insecure, masyado kang you don't have focus in life. That could be one of the reasons as to why someone doesn't want to commit to you. And would you just allow yourself to be like that? Even if you know that that is something that needs to be improved, you should not allow yourself to stay that way. And the only reason for you to move forward is to acknowledging that you need to move forward. Because most people stay on the place where they stay because they don't think that there's another place to go. So understanding, knowing that somehow, kung merong tao na hindi gustong mag-commit sa akin because of these following reasons, there's supposed to be two things that is pulling you on different directions so that you would stay on focus. Other feeling is to think about yourself as someone that doesn't needs to be validated by someone, and you should always feel enough kahit na that person did not say that you are enough, that marami kang kulang. And the other thing is someone should be pulling you in a direction that the reasons as to why he doesn't want to commit to you should self-audit. Because you're too much for me. I don't see myself with you because you are restricting the things that I want to do in life. Those kind of things, a lot of situations, and you have to self-audit and just look at those things, minor things or maybe major things that most of the other guys is telling you as well, commonalities of those previous relationships that you have, common things that they tell about you. Self-audit that and then improve upon it. I myself is not a perfect individual. I make mistakes in a relationship, and most common things that they tell me is I'm too strong, which I am. Na hindi ako nanunuyo. Sorry pero I don't. And because most of the time I think I know it's wrong, and this is me trying to open to you, but because I know it's not my mistake. But I realized recently that at the end of the day, even if it was not your mistake, it's not a matter of who's right or wrong. It's just a matter of trying to settle things so that the relationship would work. Took me a couple of relationships to realize that, but I know now that it's not always the right thing to do. So same is true with you guys. If there's something inside of you that tells you, or those couple of people who you had relationships with or flings with, or I don't know, NLR with, tells you about, then self-audit and somehow find ways on how to improve on that. Cool? Maturity na lang, sabi ni Jim. Make sure that you already fulfill what your parents want you to be if successful ka na. Nakatulong ka na, natupad na pangarap mo sa iyong sarili, sa iyong pamilya, and you have stable life. Maybe that's the right time to commit again. Because at the end of the day, if nakuha mo na lahat ng yan at nag-commit ka na ulit at nabigo ka, walang mawawala sa'yo kasi fulfilled ka na and you have everything. I totally agree with what you say, some of it. Just part is that you already fulfill what your parents want you to be. Now, this comes, I understand as a Filipino culture growing up, most of the time we tend to prioritize what our parents wants for us, and that fulfilling their dreams is our dream. Pero most of the time, I believe that somehow you have to find your own dreams. And I think your parents is just projecting the dreams for you because they think that is the right and best way for you. And the intent is good. They want you to be okay. Hindi dahil sa ginagawa yan nila kasi gusto nila lang mapasama ka. Sinasabi nila yon because they think that is the right way to do. Pero at the end of the day, my friends, you have to decide on what the things that you want to do. Kasi iba-iba tayo eh. And that if you live in a life based on what someone is telling you, that could be a recipe for a disaster because you'd live a life that is unfulfilled. I'd better want you to have the self-awareness to do the things that you want, chase that, regardless of what it is. Because bottom line, your parents will understand, your parents will be happy seeing you happy. Because gusto lang naman nilang mapabuti ka. And the only way for you to be on that mapabuti na situation is to be truly happy. And one of the means of you being truly happy, for you to have joy in your life, is to have the opportunity to be with, or have the opportunity to chase that dream of the things that you wanted to do in life. Afraid of falling in love kaya ayaw mag-commit. May takot na baka masaktan sila. Never allow your present suffer the consequences of the past. I understand that you have to learn from your mistakes from the past. Pero somehow, I think that everybody deserves a fair chance. It's just that whenever you give love, you don't give everything first off right away. You have to taper it off, kaibigan. 80-20. Tulad nga ng sinabi nila. Cool? So, last but not the least, hindi pa natin diniscuss yung main topic nila, how to deal with someone who's afraid of commitment. So, kanina, diniscuss natin ang what are the signs of someone who's afraid of commitment. And then, of course, diniscuss din natin ang why. Why don't they commit? So, diniscuss na natin yon. The only thing is the how. How to handle people that don't want to commit. Paano nga ba natin? Say, for example, regardless, we already know them, understand them, and we know their why, and we know their what. How? If I am in this situation, ano ko gagawin, Kuya Darbs? How to handle that? If you are in this situation where you already have feelings for someone, and then somehow you were able to decipher and understand that this person doesn't want to commit. Maybe you ask him straight up, or maybe you were able to see the signs earlier. and understand the reasons as to why he doesn't want to commit. Siguro, what I can suggest to you is focus on the things that would allow you to prosper. What does that mean? It means that hindi ka na mag-grow as an individual because you're wasting your time, effort, and energy into something that is and won't allow both of you to grow. Kung nasa sitwasyon ka man na yung tao na yon ay hindi ka gustong mag-commit, I hope you know that it's not the end of the world, though it's painful because you've already invested your time, emotion, and effort. But that pain can be used to be stronger next time. In that, the only way for you to remove that is to go through it. Do not destroy yourself in the process, though, of feeling the pain. Just feel it and focus on your mission. Focus on the purpose that you think you have. If you're not able to find it, then at least be self-aware enough to activate it at that specific time. What is the thing that you really wanted to do in this life? And of course, pray for guidance. Pray for God. There are a lot of situations where if it doesn't make sense and that pain is there, just kneel down, speak to him, and ask for guidance. Be vulnerable. The only way for us to understand, one of the best ways of praying is that we can be vulnerable on our most and bare naked to our sarili natin. And that we know that when we are trying to talk to him, we are not being judged. And being able to talk your woes, your worries, and your emotion, and the things that you want to happen allows you to reconfigure yourself, your mind. And somehow, after the prayer, after crying, you feel somewhat okay. And at the end of the day, my friends, do not chase. Never beg. Why would you? You cannot force someone to love you. Moreover, you cannot force someone to commit to you. Commitment and love should be freely given. And it's supposed to be a deal breaker if someone already told you that they don't love you or they don't want to commit to you. Have enough sense of self-worth to know and understand that you don't deserve that. Hindi mo deserve na hindi mahalin. And the only way, the only reason as to why you would stay in that place is because you don't believe it yourself. If you don't believe that, kung hindi mo pinapaniwalaan na deserve mo yun, it reflects on your actions. Kaya ka marupok. Kasi, kaya ka nagsistay sa isang sitwasyon because you think that's the only option you have. And you don't trust yourself well enough to understand that though it's painful to walk away to the person who makes you feel special, happy, and loved, and that you cannot think of someone who's way better than this individual, and you think this is the only option that you have. Trust that somehow that person will never be right for you if he doesn't choose you or she doesn't choose you. How to deal or how to handle people that don't want to commit is to commit to yourself first. The first commitment should happen sa sarili mo. Kasi that is, again, as what I mentioned, self-love and commitment to self is your guiding compass in navigating your way out of this mess. Kasi someone who doesn't want to commit to you and you want them to commit to you and you try to do things for them to commit to you will lead to unrequited love, and you don't want it to be on that side of the fence. Focus on you. Focus on committing to the dreams that you want to have. Focus on being the person that would attract the person who would want to commit to you. Commit to the goal, commit to your mission, commit to your project. Instead of pouring out all those love to someone who doesn't deserve, pour it inside you. You have so much love to give. And why are you giving it to someone who doesn't even want it? Maybe they just want it because it's convenient for them at that specific time. So, no. You should be wise enough to walk away, kaibigan. Kasi, kung hindi, mauubos ka, masasayang ang oras mo, at may mga pagkakataon sa buhay wherein you'd realize, sayang yung panahon. So, I hope that somehow, my friends, you'd be able to understand that you're worthy, that you're worthy to be loved, you're worthy to be taken care of, you're worthy of being a priority. People will not be able to realize that if you don't seek it to yourself, sarili. So, when you are in a situation and then the person on the other side told you or shows you symptoms or signs that they don't want to commit, either you speak to them and tell them that you want to commit. And regardless of the answer, you should be a train that moves on. The train doesn't wait for a passenger. The passenger should be the one who's nagmamadali just to ride the train, because the train has a destination. It doesn't wait for someone. it has a specific time it stops to this station. Pero the train never wait for the passenger. The passenger chase the train because the passenger knows that the place where the train is going is the destination that they want to be. So my advice and suggestion to you is be the train. Stop at a specific station at a certain amount of time. But do not overextend yourself into waiting for someone just cause you think it's your privilege to have a passenger like this person. It should be other way around. And the only mental strategy, mental game that you have is for you to know where you're going. Find that. And you're not gonna have this kind of emotion of feeling at hindi ka masasayangan doon sa taong hindi ka pinili at iniwan ka. Cool!